Hi, see the different things present all around you: a table, chair, trees, fruits, buildings, and so on. Everything around us is matter. But what is matter? Let's see. A cart gets filled when you place more and more books because they occupy some space in the cart. So, matter is anything that occupies space. Now, you hold one book and you start holding more number of books. It becomes heavy because matter has mass. Matter may be perceived by our sense, the sense of touch, the sense of sight, the sense of smell. So, we can say that anything around us which occupies space and has mass and also perceived by our sense is known as matter. Let's know about the atom. Years back, ancient Indian and Greek philosopher have always wondered about the unknown and unseen form of matter. The idea of divisibility of matter was considered long back in India. So, in India, Maharishi Kannad stated that if we go on dividing matter, we shall get a smaller and smaller particle. If we take a piece of paper and we start dividing this paper further and further till the stage when you are not able to divide it further. This smallest particle is known as atom or Pramanu. Around 500 BC, Greek philosopher named as Democritus came up with a concept indivisible particle known as atom. Atom come from Greek word atomos, which means indivisible. So, everything in the world, whether it is living or non living, that you see is made up of atoms. Then in 18th century, Antony Lavoisier came up with two laws. One is the law of conservation of mass and other is law of constant proportion. Let's try to understand it. Law of conservation of mass. He said that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Let's take an example of candle. When candle is burned in the presence of oxygen, the carbon and hydrogen atom in the candle forms carbon dioxide and water vapor when it is burned. You see that no new atoms are formed on both the sides. Second law is law of constant proportion. In this law, chemical substance, the elements are always present in a definite proportion by mass. To understand this law, let's take an example of water H2O. In H2O, the ratio of hydrogen to the mass of oxygen is 2. This means when two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen are combined, they always form water H2. So, if we decompose 9 gram of water, whatever the source of water, we always get 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen. But the scientists of that era are not able to give appropriate explanation of these laws. The first scientific theory about atoms was given by a scientist named John Dalton. He said that atom is a solid hard sphere and it is neutral, that is, it has no charge. He gives some other point about the atoms. Let's see. According to Dalton, all matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Like a wall is made up of small bricks. Similarly, brick is also made up of tiny particles. And these tiny particles is known as atoms. Now, if you take a small piece of banana and you take a bigger piece, so you taste both. You know that both the same. Similarly, if you take a piece of apple, it tastes the same as the entire apple. But does the banana taste like the apple? No, they are different. Similarly, all the atoms of the same element are alike but different from the atoms of any other element. This is a gold biscuit. All atoms of gold are alike. And this is silver biscuit. All the atoms of silver are like silver. But does the atom of gold are similar to atom of silver? No. The atom of gold and the atom of silver are not similar. So all atoms of same element are alike but they are different from each other. Compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine in fixed proportion. Let's see. These are hydrogen atoms and these are oxygen atoms. So, when two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen combine, they form water molecule. Then Dalton says in his theory that a chemical reaction involves a rearrangement of atom, not a change in atom themselves. Two molecules of water are formed when four hydrogen are combined with two oxygen, but the atoms of hydrogen and oxygen they do not change, they only rearrange themselves to give of water.